was driving by the road when giant lightning struck nearby. The night has already been quite challenging for me, and now this. I'm already late for work, and the rainy weather could only make things worse for me. Along with the rumbling thunder outside, I could also hear the gurgling sound of my empty stomach. I recalled the last time I ate was in the afternoon, and now it's past midnight. Thinking about finding a department store on the highway, I slowed down when heavy rainfall occurred. Damn it! I switched on the car wipers to get a clear view, but there was nothing on the sides of the road except for deep woods. I almost lost the hope of finding food for the night when a bright purple light fell on my windshield. I fastened the wiper's speed and saw a drive-thru of Taco Bell beaming at some distance. The large Bell logo was glittering to let passerbyers know it was there. Thanking God for this unexpected attention, I got into the lane. It was a small joint. I drove the car towards the window and stopped right next to it. I didn't see anyone sitting near it. I honked the car horn, not being clear if it was closed due to bad weather or something. Still, no one came to the window. The lights were on, and as much as I could see from the car, I thought the employee must have dozed off. I was about to honk the car once again when a voice spoke. "Welcome to Taco Bell." Even though I heard the voice, I still didn't see anybody appearing in the window. Being confused, I rolled down my car window to take a sneak peek when a bald head slowly got up from the floor right in front of the window. A bony, bald man with freaky green eyes stared at me and said, "May I take your order, ma'am?" Whoa, you almost scared me. Well, life is full of jump scares, isn't it? Yeah, no doubt. So what? Your order, ma'am. Yeah, right. I'll have the shredded chicken burrito and a Diet Pepsi. Fine. Being a woman in her late 30s, I've had my fair share of creepy encounters with strangers, but this man gave me a weird vibe. He was being so slow and staring at me as if he had never seen a woman before. I handed him the money when he asked me a pretty disturbing question. "It's not safe to drive at this hour alone." I have some work. Keeping my answers precise and direct, I tried to imply that it's none of his business, but the man didn't seem to get the hint that much. While counting the change, he asked again, "How much longer will you have to drive before you reach home?" Excuse me? You see, the weather is bad, and a storm can come any minute now. If you want, you can come in and wait for a while. Thank you for your concern, but I'm a big girl. I can handle things myself. Can you please hurry up on the order? Sure. I was shocked by his audacity, but I figured him out as a creep and nothing else. He didn't seem pleased with my reply, but I had no other option than to draw a line the way things were going. The man gave me a death stare. He then lunged close to the car to hand me over my order when I felt his bony fingers shoving a small piece of paper with the food bag. Having enough, I was all set to scream at him when I opened that sheet, and my stomach dropped. In that small piece of paper, he has written, "Someone is hiding in your back seat." I immediately looked at him, and he nodded his head with wide eyes. So this was why he was telling me to wait inside the drive-thru. I knew if I looked back, it would only cause more problems. Drops of sweat appeared on my forehead as I sensed the danger lurking. I somehow got my shit together and said, "Well, before I go, can I use the washroom?" Of course, ma'am. Please, come on in." I got down from the car and walked straight inside the drive-thru. As soon as I got in, the man locked the door behind me and said, "Sorry if I made you uncomfortable. I saw someone lying in your back seat from the moment you arrived here. I was just trying to help you." I apologized to him for not taking his hint before. The man then walked to the fryer to pick up his phone lying on the desk nearby. "Don't worry, ma'am. I'll call 911 right now. I've already locked the door so that he can't enter. The cops will be." He was going on, but I didn't let him finish. As he reached in front of the fryer, I lunged at him, grabbing his head and dunked his face into the boiling hot oil. A sick smile bloomed on my face as his painful screams appeared like music to my ears. He didn't even get the chance to speak, and his eyes, nose, and mouth got severely deep fried, like those crunchy nacho fries from Taco Bell. His body flocked like a dying bird for some time, and I didn't let him go. Lucky for me, he was a bony dude, and I was stronger than him. I felt a bit sad for killing him, but trust me, I had no other way. I was headed back to a stranded location to dump a fresh body. There was indeed someone in my back seat, but he wasn't alive. After investing my entire life in my boyfriend, can you believe he didn't hesitate to cheat on me? So, I had to take my revenge. I poisoned him when he came to take his stuff from my apartment and asked for a glass of water. Now I was all set to drive to a nice location, dig up a grave in the woods and bury him with the utmost care. But this bony dude saw more than he should have. Hence, curiosity killed the cat. Now I will have to dump 2 bodies instead of 1 and destroy all the CCTV footage before leaving. Maybe the newspapers will print 2 stories of missing people in a few days or weeks, and cops will run a routine check. But I am a passive liar and a pretty accomplished psychopath. I know how to get out of this without getting any mud on me. The only thing that worries me now is the fun I just had doing all this. I can't assure you that these 2 will be my last victims. It makes my skin crawl when I recall this incident. Just to be popular on social media, people are willing to go to any extent. I was working at the fast food chain Wendy's when this incident took place. I was 19 years old, a high school dropout, trying my hands at anything and everything to earn some cash back then. A friend of mine got me this job. It was a small outlet near the highway, so most of our customers were truckers and people driving by the road. I generally worked in the morning shift, but whenever I needed cash, I did some overtime. The night shifts never caused me any issue or worry, so I was more than willing to work late at night. Also, the payment was high for night shifts, hence, I couldn't say no to that. I lived in a small studio apartment and drove to work in my brother's old scooter that he gave me before leaving for college. It was a warm Friday night, and I was on my way to my night shift. I wanted to see my parents that weekend, so I decided to get extra cash for the upcoming expenditures. My dad's birthday was knocking on the door, and I planned to buy him something nice with that additional payment. There wasn't much traffic on the highway. On my 15 minutes ride, I could only see 2 cars and 1 truck pass by. We don't get many customers late night, so in a way, I preferred night shifts, as there was less work. I parked my scooter and entered the restaurant. The evening shift employee handed me over the keys and left for home. Our night chef was working in the kitchen, so I sat behind the counter and waited for a customer to arrive. After half an hour, 2 truckers came in and bought some barbecue cheeseburgers. I was handing them the order when another customer entered the store. A woman in her late 30s walked to the nearest table and sat down. She had a backpack which she placed next to her and stared at me with wide eyes. Her creepy, cold stare made me realize she wanted me to come and take her order. Generally, most people come to the counter and give their orders, but she probably wanted the VIP treatment. Being young and a beginner at this job, I didn't want to create any trouble. So after the truckers left, I walked to her table. "Welcome to Wendy's. May I take your order?" "1 Baconator combo, 2 cheeseburgers, a large bucket of spicy chicken, 1 large fries, 20-piece spicy nuggets, and 1 lemonade large. Make it quick. I don't have all night." "Sure, ma'am." Even though she was overly rude, I still gave a humble smile and walked to the kitchen with this huge order. The woman didn't tell me to parcel them, so I guess she will only eat them here. As I came back to the counter, I saw her setting up a camera right in front of her. She then tried to tie her messy hair into a bun and started putting blood red lipstick on. It didn't take me time to understand that she was going to record a mukbang video right here. These eating ASMR videos are now a big deal on the internet, and I follow many mukbangers, but this was my first time to see one face to face. There was no reason I could stop her from doing it because, in a way, she was advertising Wendy's food. So I kept quiet and watched her pulling off this show. After 20 minutes, the chef and I placed all the food on her table. Chef Burton was surprised to see this woman, but we both kept quiet as she bought a large amount of food from us. Chef went back to the kitchen and I sat down to watch what she did next. She pressed the play button and the recording started. She said in a creepy, squeaky voice, "Hello guys, tonight's menu is Wendy's. As you can see, I have so many foods ahead of me. There will be a big surprise at the end, so do watch the entire video. I'll eat now." Saying this, she grabbed a handful of fries and shoved them inside her mouth. The amount was too much, so most of the fries were hanging out of her mouth as she struggled to chew them. After finishing it, she bit a large chunk of the cheeseburger and shoved some spicy nuggets along with that. The way she was eating was disgusting to watch. I could see saliva mixed with food dripping from her mouth. She went on eating like this, and I thought, who would like to watch such a sickening mukbang video? Her ways of eating food were enough to make any viewers nauseous. After finishing her fries, cheeseburger, and the Baconator combo, she went for the spicy chicken. She grabbed the sizable, saucy piece of chicken and started licking it while staring directly at the camera. She was laughing in between as if it was funny, when, in reality, it wasn't. I was secretly wishing that she would leave, but she seemed pretty comfortable in doing all this creepy stuff. Her face got smeared in the red sauce, so did her hands, and she ate the chicken like a hungry wolf. Her bright eyes made her face appear like a demon, and red sauce seemed like blood on her mouth. In front of my eyes, she finished all the food while smiling like a freak. I was relieved that now she would finally leave, but what she did next was beyond my imagination. She said in her squeaky voice once again, "Now it's time for the big surprise, guys, that you all have been waiting for." She grabbed the empty chicken bucket and started vomiting in it, putting her fingers in her mouth. She was gagging herself forcefully and vomiting in front of the camera. Her eyes went backwards as she choked herself. "What the hell? What the hell are you doing? Don't disturb me!" She vomited like crazy, and I was in shock to witness. After filling the bucket with her vomit, she wiped her face and hands with a tissue paper. Then, like nothing happened, she grabbed the entire bucket and started drinking her vomit. I couldn't take it anymore and called Chef Burton. Hearing my scream, he rushed in and saw the woman doing the unthinkable. We screamed at her to stop, but she wasn't stopping. Finishing that gooey liquid in one go, she wiped her face for one last time and smiled at the camera again. "That's all for today, guys. I'll be back again." We stood behind the counter, frozen in shock and disgusted, as we never expected anyone to eat their own vomit. She turned off the camera and started sipping the lemonade as if nothing happened. She must have taken 2-3 sips when suddenly she got up coughing. Her eyes were turning backwards and she coughed terribly. "Oh my God, she's choking on her vomit. Call the paramedics, now." I started calling the paramedics with trembling hands while Chef Burton ran towards her and started patting her back to stop her from choking. But she was gagging for real now, and I could see the pain in her face. Her face was turning blue, as if she couldn't breathe anymore. Not knowing how to help her, Chef Burton and I couldn't do anything but watch this woman die. She collapsed on the floor, grabbing her neck and coughing terribly. When the paramedics came, it was all over. The woman was lying on the floor with her mouth wide open and eyes rolled up. She even peed herself from the trauma of the situation. The cops came in and saw the entire video and the CCTV footage. They realized that this woman was crazy and killed herself. We could do nothing to save her, so Chef Burton and I both left the job, and it was too much to go back to work, recalling that horrible memory. I don't watch mukbang videos anymore, as they remind me of that terrifying night shift at Wendy's. I hope people stop running behind popularity, as too much of anything can destroy your life forever, or even kill you.